Alright, everybody try to not talk for a second. Hey, what's going on, guys? We are doing episode 2 of the bracket show. We're just going to go over. First time we did this, there wasn't actually a bracket to fill out. We kind of had to just do it on our own. But now they've actually have a bracket to fill out. The best bracket is 2,500. The perfect bracket is 10 grand. So hopefully one of us is perfect. So we are just going to go over our predictions for each of the matches by the day. And I'm going to ask the follow up questions once I get everybody's perspective, and we'll go from there. So now I want to go ahead and start introducing who's here. First of all, if we got Gulu,
What's
um,
up, Chad?
yeah, and just for some perspective, I'm an Optic fan. It's my brother; he's an Optic fan as well. Um, I'm just gonna give you guys some little info as we go. Next person I want to introduce is Kylo. Kylo, say what's up.
Bro is not Zuma.
Yo, be serious.
What's up, chat?
Oh.
One guy in chat.
You make me want to start it over. Okay, and then next person is Archie.
What's going on?
All right, what's going on? That's good. So everybody seems to be ready. We're gonna go ahead and hop into it. Okay, starting with the first match. Los Angeles Thieves versus Breach. Now this is a weird one for me because Breach the first time, or I think it was the Major 2, they upset them in the first round. But obviously, Thieves have been looking way stronger, and they've been pretty much unbeatable in best of sevens and even in best of fives. They've rarely lost, but I think there's upset potential here. I just don't think that LA Thieves is going to give this one up. So, just logically, I'm going to put LA Thieves 3-1 over Boston Breach. And then we'll kick it over to Gulu. Tell me what you think about this match.
So against LA Thieves in Boston here, I mean, I just think it's about as clear cut as anybody else probably does. I think if Boston do win a map, it's probably the map 2. I think Thieves just have a way bigger map pool, and they're arguably the best team in Hardpoint at maybe every mode. So I say Thieves 3-1.
Thieves 3-1. Okay, I got the same thing. And then we are going to kick it off to Arksy.
Mm, I definitely think that Thieves are going to carry over their momentum from the past two majors. They've been looking really, really good. And Hydra is my favorite player, so I'm definitely picking Thieves to win the round, but I'm going to think that it's going to be a little bit closer. I'm going to go 3-2 Thieves.
By the way, who's your favorite team?
Oh, Thieves.
Thieves? Okay. So you don't think Boston Breach has any upset potential? I mean, they literally have done it at another major. Of course, we're talking about a slightly
Uh,
weaker Thieves team. So
They definitely could, but again, just the way the Thieves have been, picking themselves up and they have performed a whole ton of a lot better in these past two majors than before. I think they're going to carry that momentum over and they're going to get it done.
okay, fair enough. All right, now we go to Kylo, and I'm pretty sure I know what Kylo's gonna say, but go ahead, Kylo.
Yeah, no, I think this is pretty clear. I got Boston 3-0. No, I'm kidding. No, I got Thieves 3-1. I think there is definitely a chance for an upset, but I think it already happened early on in the season. I think right now Thieves just they're all clicking right now. Back-to-back major wins. They got their confidence back, and I think they want that ring. To be honest with you, so I
I
think it's gonna be
agree.
clean.
I agree. And follow up question, slightly different. Who is your second favorite team? Let's say LA Thieves bomb out top eight, which is obviously unlikely. Who is your second favorite team that you're gonna root for?
Hmm.
I would root probably for Surge.
For Surge? Okay, I did not
Hmm.
expect that. All right, so Um, we're gonna kick it back to me. Obviously, it started with me. We got Surge and Heretic. Or Kyler, were you done?
Yeah, yeah, no.
All
Yep.
right, cool. Cool. I just want to make sure everybody gets their time on top. All right, Surge and Heretics. Um, See, the thing is with Surge right now, after that last tournament performance, and I think it was not a really good showing from them, but it wasn't accurate either. Like, I don't think they're going to continue to play at that, especially early in the tournament. They're going to take Miami very seriously, but I think Miami's a better team. So I'm going to give it to Miami 3-2, and mainly because of their search and destroy. I think that their search is just probably top 3, top 2 in the game right now. So, um, that's my opinion. We're gonna start with Kylo this time around since we ended with him.
Um, this one's a bit of a coin toss, to be honest with you, because yes, Miami looked good, and then Vancouver kind of bombed out. But I don't know. I think Vancouver will kind of bounce back. We don't want to see them to that form that they were before this. I actually think Miami are the ones that are due for a bit of a stinker. There's
You think they're
maybe like
upset?
one. No. I think Miami are due for a poor placing. This group of four in particular, because I think it was Major 2 they bombed out, right? But that was with Lucky, and I think top threes, it's gonna get to them a little bit. You know, they got a win over Thieves, but it still wasn't enough to break into that like top two. I think this team peaked. I'm being honest with you. So I actually got Vancouver winning in Game 5.
Game 5 fashion. Okay, opposite take. I have Miami winning in Game 5 fashion. All right, so we're gonna kick it over to Gulu next. If you want to go ahead and give us your thoughts on that.
I mean, it's without basically saying what he said. This is like as 50-50 as it gets. Um, Honestly, I think it goes Game 5 almost regardless, and I almost agree. I think like Surge are probably putting the work in to, you know, because whenever they made it to a grand final, it felt a lot cleaner than when the Heretics boys uh, made their runs to like a top 3. I feel like when Surge did go to a grand final, like they were like just stomping teams out, and that could just be like recency bias. But I'm gonna say Surge 3-2.
Okay, I like it. And last question. Who is your second favorite team? If you're not voting, if you're not, obviously you're an Optic fan. So who are you voting?
Well, they're not going to champs, but I would say like Falcons.
No, in this
But
tournament,
in this tournament, Thieves.
Thieves is your second favorite. Oh, I did not expect that. All right, you
For sure.
traitor.
Gotta love Nate Shot.
You
Gotta love
traitor.
Nate Shot.
You traitor. Okay, Artsy, go ahead and give your thoughts on this Surge versus Heretics match.
Oh, I honestly don't know much about Surge, but I did see Miami has been doing pretty okay. Which major was it where Miami beat Thieves early
That
on?
was
Was
Major
that
Four.
that was
That just
Major
have,
4?
yeah, DreamHack.
So I definitely think they have potential and that they're a good team, but y'all both seem to think Surge is gonna win, so I must be missing something. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say Surge.
Okay, so we got. Yeah, I'm the only one who went for Miami. Everybody else went for Surge. That's kind of crazy. That's surprising to me. I thought Miami's been doing really well. Thank God Eric isn't here. He'd be flipping out right now, dog. All right, so we're gonna move on to the next match. Actually, let's do it by the schedule. So the next match that we're gonna move on to is Toronto versus the Royal Ravens, and just my opinions on this. I don't think this is even close. I'd be very surprised if Carolina even take him to the last map, and that's only if they take the search. If they don't take the search, if it's chalked, I think they're gonna bomb out. Now, of course, we don't know. We haven't seen the teams play in a month, but I just feel that way. It's not even close for me. I'm gonna give Ravens a map, but it's 3-1 in favor of Ultra for me. Okay, and now I'm gonna kick it to. Obviously, we ended with you, so let's start with you.
Let's see what we're on. Royal Ravens and Ultra. Mm, Uh, I'm gonna say Ultra 3-2 in a tight map. Um, from what I've seen, it doesn't look like the Ravens are too good of a team, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And I have seen Ultra be a little bit competitive, but at times I also have seen Ravens, make some good wins. So I think it's gonna be a close game. Um, I'm just gonna go 3-2.
Yeah, I agree with the outcome. I disagree with that. I think Toronto's going to outpace them. But all right, now we'll move over to Kylo and tell me what you think.
Uh, I mean, I think this is pretty clear. I got Toronto 3. I'm actually gonna go Toronto 3-0. I think this Carolina team, man, they just peaked way too early. They have regressed in every metric. Slasher and TJ in stage one were literally fucking top 10 players, and then for some reason, as soon as like the sub got like I guess nerfed, TJ can't shoot straight anymore. Slasher keeps getting pooed on. Gwen still hasn't had a good series on LAN. And I mean, the fact that Dylan Rex is right now probably their best player just speaks a lot about this team. And I just don't see them doing anything.
Okay,
So
I don't know
Toronto.
if I asked you this yet, but your second favorite team, if or actually if LA get bombed out, you
You
said
did ask me. I said Surge.
okay. I haven't asked somebody yet though. All right, Serge. Okay, and then do you think Ravens deserve to be a champs, or do you think that they just slid in because they started off the season high and got like a top 4 placing?
Um, yes and no. Yes, because I mean, you did put in the work early on. You did more than pretty much all the other teams that aren't at champs did combined. So
Hmm.
yeah, from that aspect, but no, because I don't see. I have like zero faith in them. Maybe potentially even winning a map at this tournament. Meanwhile, I think somebody like Falcons could at least sneak in maps. So if you want to look at it from that perspective, then no.
All right, fair enough. And Google, it kicks off to you now, right?
Yeah, and we're doing Ultra and Ravens, and man, I don't know. I feel like this is a bit closer than maybe people think it is. I feel like this is gonna be a long, long day one. Uh, I think with Ravens, their airtight mode is that SND, but I think their path to victory against a team like Ultra, who are probably feel burned by Major 3, how that turned out, because that was probably their major to win. If there was going to be another team that, besides the top two that did win a major, I think it was going to be Toronto at Major 3. Didn't happen. Uh, but I think they're on a hot streak still. They got some fire in them, and I think they're just more well-rounded at all the modes. They might lose in the S&D against Ravens, but I think they slam in the other modes. So I'm gonna say Ultra 3-1 in this one.
Yeah, I think that this is pretty conclusive. I don't yet, not yet have all 4 of us agreed on the outcome. So I like that. I think you're the person I haven't asked. Who is your second favorite team? If your favorite team gets knocked out early on,
Oh yeah, you did ask me this. I said
I it's
if Falcons were here,
Oh,
I would say Falcons,
it
but
would
Thieves
yeah,
if
you
not.
didn't ask me.
Archie. Okay, that's why I didn't ask. Art, go ahead.
Um, I would probably have to go with FaZe just because I'm from Atlanta. I gotta rep my city. So FaZe.
Okay. All right. So well, since you started off with that, actually, yeah, go ahead and tell me your thoughts on this next matchup, which is the last matchup of the day: FaZe versus Optic.
FaZe and Optic. Okay. I was pretty high on Optic coming into the season. They have yet to win a tournament yet. And it doesn't look good to me. Their constant switching of their lineup. It kind of makes my faith in them go downhill. And FaZe has, they won the first two, correct? FaZe did.
FaZe won the first two, and then LA's won the
Exactly.
last two.
Yeah. So I would definitely put FaZe as my number 2 team. Overall, up against the Optic team I'm very iffy about. I think it's going to be a sweep 3-0.
3-0. Wow. So you don't give Optic a single map?
Damn.
Nope.
Oh wow.
Dang.
Yeah. That's
All right.
crazy.
Hater alert! Hater alert! Hater alert!
All right. Um, I'll let I'm gonna go last. I'll let Gulu take it from here.
I'm gonna kind of reiterate what I said in our last time. I think Optic is due for a win against Atlanta. If anybody was due for a win against anybody, because I believe in their last 3 matches for sure, maybe 4, the game 2 was a round 11, and Optic lost it all 3 times.
Yeah.
So I think if Optic can really just iron out their S&D, they know they can steal one of the respawns. If they can steal the S&D, you know they either take map 1, map 4, they can make this go the distance. So this is a really, to me, a coin toss. And, you know, injecting some bias into it, I'm going to say Mercules gets his rematch, Optic 3-2.
Optic 3-2.
Injecting a little bit of bias in
Yeah.
A
So-
little bit.
Teeny tiny bit.
So
Just a
Kylo, now it's you. And let Gulu. One second, Kylo. Gulu, are you done?
Oh, yeah, sure.
All right, Kylo, go ahead.
So Optic against FaZe. I kind of do agree with Gulu. I think they are due, but not here. I think if they do get their win over FaZe, it'll be later in the tournament. But I think right here, I'd probably give it to FaZe 3-1. I feel like we're gonna see like a typical Optics game, maybe like in an S&D round 11 or something like that.
Super possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just see it more likely that Optic will be able to get their win if like they make a little bit of a loser run and then FaZe drop down and they're a little bit demoralized and then like Optic have the hype behind them. They have, you know, the crowd.
But what if Optic beats them to here? How do you think they play from that point out?
If Optic beats FaZe here, I could see them making top 3.
Yeah.
I for sure think they can make
agree
top
as
3,
well.
or maybe
Well, top 4
maybe
is
they could even finesse their way into a grand final.
is
This is the confidence. This is the most important game of their season right here.
yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, top 4. I think winners round 2 a minimum is top 6 or top 4. I think it's top 4 because there's only 8 teams. But
4, yeah.
so all right. Anything else you want to say, Kylo?
No.
All right. Okay. It's me. I'm being honest, man. Like, in my mind, it's like a 50-50. If anything, a 60-40 in FaZe's favor. They have a lot more reps as a top 3, top 4 team. Optics finally kind of found that fourth piece that puts them in top 4, but they don't have nearly the reps. So it's really gonna come down to how they start off. That's why I kind of like that they play last, so they have the most time to get ready and prepare. And they need to come in that match, and they cannot go down 0-2, or it's just FaZe is going to close you out. But if they at least take the hard point, I can see the series going the distance. I've got it 3-2. I think they take the hard point, and I really do even think they might maybe even take the search just slightly. The next maps go to FaZe, and then they close it out in 5. But I really believe that they've gone through all the trials and tribulations, and we've seen what happened last year when they got a bad placing just at one tournament. And they did all the prep work going into champs, and they came out on top when they did not look like the favorite by a mile. So, yeah. Anyways, but that's my opinion. Is everybody good? I'm gonna move on to the next one.
Yep.
Okay, so I want to keep staying round 1. So now we're dropping down to the losers bracket. We've got Boston versus Surge, and we'll start with Gulu this time.
Boston versus Surge. So you have Surge losing that.
Yes,
So
I'm going off.
Taking it?
I'm going off my
So
bracket.
if it's Boston Surge here, I feel like it's almost the same outcome as if Heretics were here anyway. But we can touch on that maybe in a second. And look, I really do like the Boston guys. I'm glad that they decided to stick with a roster for a bit. But I think this is one of those teams that had an opportunity, an easy path to an upgrade at least twice during this season, and they didn't take it. And I think this team was one roster change, maybe 2, away from cracking that top 4, top 3, maybe even squeeze their way into a grand finals at a major type of team, but they didn't. And so I say this team against the Miami boys, I think they take it all the way, but I think it's like a 3-1, 3-2. I'm going to say 3-1 Heretics or Surge in that scenario.
Oh, you said 3-1 Surge. 3-1 Surge. All right, cool. So now we'll go to Artsy. Go ahead and let me know what you think.
All right, Austin Breach, Miami. Again, I think
Not
Miami's a
Miami.
decent team.
Breach versus Surge. We're going off my
You have
bracket.
Surge.
Yeah.
Okay, if it's Surge, then ooh. if it's Surge, then I would put it as a closer game. 3-2, 3-2 Miami.
Yeah, 3-2. No, it's Surge versus Breach.
Oh fuck, my fault, my fault. 3-2 Surge.
3-2 Surge. Okay, I've got Surge 3-1. But all right. And then Kylo, elimination round 1, Surge versus Vancouver. I mean Breach versus Vancouver.
See, I really don't like this Boston team. It's for the simple fact that it just reeks of complacency and just a very big lack of ambition. I think this team of 4 has proven this entire year that they are content with just getting top 6. They have not that they don't have a desire to break into the top 4, but they're not losing sleep over not.
Sure, that's not personal at all, because
Maybe like
Little
they're
bit, little bit.
prioritizing like their chemistry over like the success of the team overall kind of deal.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I guess, but I don't know, man. Like, there's like, other than maybe like Cammy, who's actually won before, I just don't see any of these players like rising.
I mean,
up
I'm
to
pretty
the
sure this is
occasion.
one of the teams that had the opportunity to get Neptune at one point or Hook at another point. You know, they had a few
But
opportunities.
that's the
that it
thing,
could have
though.
had.
No, but that's the thing. The subs aren't the problem. It's the ARs. Like,
Well, for
both of-
sure, but
Yeah, like both of these ARs are prone to getting shit on, and that's the problem. You can't win like that. You can't get like.
Awakening's their 4th AR, right? Or the
and
second
they could
AR.
have been grabbed Vivid. They could have been grabbed Vivid for a minute now. You know.
Yeah, but a Vivid on an AR, I don't think would move the needle on this team that much. If I'm being honest with you, it's not like he's bringing like slaying power. I don't think that he's what this team needed. I think they just
I
needed
think
an
he's
AR.
a bit better in the respawns than Cammy is, but Cammy's search kind of like outweighs that. He is very good at search,
Yeah.
so
My
I don't know, but I
search
think
is
that
amazing.
That team needed help in respawns because I think even with one person change like that, but there was other good AR options too. I'm forgetting, but I'm sure there was a couple other good AR options as well. They could have grabbed
Yeah.
Lunars and just told him to do his thing. That's what he wanted to do, was to be a fast AR and just run it down. I mean, they
Alright,
should've grabbed him.
So map count, Kylo?
I got 31 surge.
Alright, and then Gulu, you're the one who hasn't weighed in, right?
No, I did. I was first.
You was so Arksy, you hadn't weighed in?
Yeah, I gave mine 3-2.
Yeah, Gulu, you haven't weighed in yet.
I did. I said 3-1.
Oh, okay. Then everybody's weighed in, and I guess the same. So we're going on to the next one. This is the last elimination round. I have it FaZe versus Carolina. This is not even a contest with me. I don't even got as much as a 3-0 FaZe.
Yeah.
yeah.
Everybody just was silent. Yo, I guess I'll go next. But I'll say this: like, if FaZe are here, and if Ravens are here, I think Ravens again take the map 2, but then FaZe just close it out. Like map 2 is probably around 11, and FaZe are like face palming that they lost it type of thing when the map 1 was a slammage or something. I say
Yeah.
FaZe like 3-1 at most there.
Okay,
No,
FaZe 3.
Studio. Hot Studio.
Hot 3-0, Kylo.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
Artsy?
I'm giving Ravens benefit of the doubt a bit.
So if it's FaZe versus Ravens, then yeah, I'm with Envoy on the 3-0 for sure.
okay.
This is gonna be a DoorDash series.
Between the 4 of us, we put them 12-1. Kubu gave them one map.
I'll give him one map, man.
So I actually, like I said, I had FaZe winning that first round. So in mine, I have Optic and Royal Raven. So in the event that happens, Royal Ravens, I believe the last time them two played was back in Major 1, and Royal Ravens 3-0'd them. But I think Optic will want that get back.
They played during the last split. and
But
they
at
beat
the
'em.
Did they?
at the end of the game, and
Yeah.
we'll go over this. You're gonna
They
screenshot your
were
bracket.
in the last split. Yeah, I think they were first match during Major 4.
You're gonna screenshot your bracket and show it at the end, and then we'll go over it on the next episode. So
Gotcha.
good. Yeah, 3-0. Okay, so now we're moving on to the top of the bracket. Winners round 2. The way I have it is, you guys have it every different way. I'm the only one who has it this way. Is LA versus Miami. For me, this is actually probably one of the harder series to call, and Yeah, y'all are gonna hate me for saying this, but I think Miami could take this one 3-2.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, we're scrapping after this.
uh, but I'm being honest. I don't think that LA is in any trouble there. Even if they drop down to losers, they are great at making losers runs. I just think this is one of those matchups that it's less about skill. Obviously, skill is a big factor, but it's more about the beef that they've currently got going in the mindset into it. And so I think that Miami could catch them off guard if it and it, that's what the way I'm gonna go and take it. So yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on this? LA versus Miami winners round two. The first winners round two.
Arksy?
Mm,
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Artsy.
um, I definitely think it'll be a close match. Um, there's definitely some bad blood from that last time they played. It was definitely fun to watch, you know. So I
That
think
was
they'll
like
make a
Aches
great
versus
series
Nate
out of
out
it.
there.
Oh yeah.
At least they threw punches. No, Scrap was
Oh, of course.
just
Get off me, dude! Get off me!
beefing with a fist bump.
But
Yeah,
you
those
know
are
how I'm
crazy
gonna be
times.
swinging it. So Thieves 3-2.
For sure.
Thieves 3-2. Okay, cool. We're gonna go Gulu next.
So I got Surge, coming to Saturday here. I think this would be on the Saturday match, right?
Yeah, no,
And
but do what my bag is going off of, and then we'll go.
yeah, and right, and so, but even if it's Surge or Heretics here, like I said, those teams are basically evenly matched. But Heretics here, there's a lot more emotion here. I think they take it to. I really think this is going to be one of those matches if Heretics are here. Saturday Thieves are way more ironclad than Thursday Thieves. That's when you could catch Thieves slipping.
This is
Early in
Friday
the
match, by
tournament.
the way.
It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But winners round two is usually on the Saturday, no? And then they do losers on Friday.
I think you're
And
right. Yeah. Yeah.
and so yeah, so Saturday Thieves, they're already off a win in winners round one. I really think whoever is here, it's gonna be a 3-1. But if it's Heretics here, I think every single map is close. Like it's probably gonna come down to the wire again. I mean, they just had a 1-second hard point, in their last major. I think you're going to see a hard point, that comes down to like 10 seconds, an S&D that goes 10 rounds, a control that goes 4 or 5 rounds. But these are going to close it out in 3-1.
3-1. And I think that yes, winners is there, but on Friday it's losers. But there is one winners match in there, if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken. So, but we'll move on. Boy, you're last. Go ahead and tell me what you think, but I'm pretty sure I could guess.
Listen, man. I said this when you asked me about like the Miami and Surge matchup. That I said that I thought Miami peaked, and I stand by that. I think something that a lot of people don't talk about when they bring up that series that they won, which was in winners, was that Rancor literally had to drop a 1.5 balls in your mouth masterclass series to barely win that series. On top of the fact that Scrap obviously had the whole like wrong streak incident, and he didn't do that in the next series. None of them turned up when it actually mattered. And I could see the exact same thing happening.
But what the record of the tournament is 1-1. I mean, they beat them once, the other team beat them once. So
Yeah, but is Rancor really gonna drop a 1.5
I
again?
don't know. He's a
really
rookie of the
doubt
year
it.
right now, is what it's looking like. So maybe.
Yeah, but I don't think the emotional factor is gonna play in as much as you guys think. I think they already got their lick back.
I think to
Honestly
Miami, not to LA. I think Miami
yeah,
are gonna be amped up. Go ahead.
no, that's what I'm saying. They looked extremely demoralized after that video. I don't see them bouncing back, and I got Thieves 3-1.
3-1. All right, I respect it. Fair enough. Okay, now we'll go to the next one. I'll start. We've got a matchup that's happened twice at the end of the Major 4 qualifiers, Optic versus Toronto, and then round 1 of a DreamHack Major 4 was the same matchup, Toronto versus Ultra. I mean, Optic versus Toronto. So, anyways, I don't think Toronto has our number this time. It's very possible that they could knock us out, but I don't think they do. I think we take this one 3-1. And now we're gonna kick it over to Artsy.
What do you have on yours?
It's Optic versus Toronto, winners round 2.
Okay. Optic versus Toronto. If it's Optic versus Toronto, again, I'm not too high on Optic this season, so I'm gonna go Toronto 3-1.
Toronto 3-1. See, I disagree, but Reginald. But all right. So anything else said?
No, nothing else. Nothing too much.
Bro
All right,
hates
go.
Optic to lose.
Optic.
All right, Kylo went last time, so I'm gonna let Kylo go. Kylo.
So it's Optic against Toronto, right? They played at the last major, right?
They played the last 2 times they played. Optic slammed them 3-0, 3-1. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no, this is one of those like matchups that has been really hard for Toronto. Um, the X factor for Toronto, I think Toby and Joe will do their thing like they have this entire year. I think either Beans or Jamie, bro. They have to. One of them has to drop a fucking
Insight.
masterclass, like best series of the year they've had. Um, and I can see one of them doing it. You know, they're not. I don't think they're stupid. I think they understand that if they don't perform here and they don't help the team get a decent result, then either both of them or one of them is gone. So I could see maybe Jamie pulling up and dropping a good series, but I still don't think it's enough. I think.
Do you think there's any mental going in with Beans? You know that whole incident where Beans in versus Mercules. Do you think Mercules has a few of the players on Toronto, specifically Beans and Insight? Is he in their heads?
I mean, to a degree, yeah. Like if the guy that people were saying should take your spot is out here like dropping a masterclass on your head, then obviously it has to take a little bit of a toll on you. Um, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, regardless of whether it affects them or not, I think Optic just look a little too good right now, and the errors on Toronto haven't shown me enough. So
I agree. Okay, Guli, you still haven't gone, right?
Yeah, and you were right. It was 3-1 the last time they played, and then a week before that they 3-0'd them.
Yeah.
So I think if Optic are here, this is an Optic that has had 48 hours to rest from the phase win. So they're off a phase win in winners. They're riding into the Saturday with all that momentum, all that dope. I actually think it's a 3-0 here for the same reasons. You're gonna require a masterclass out of one of your ARs, or at least above average and average from both of them, which they can't seem to get, for the last half of the season. I think if you're Optic, you just don't put Vault in the pool, because then because Jamie with that third sub on Vault might drop a masterclass. That might be where he finds his masterclass and steals a control or a hard point or something. So I'm gonna say Optic. I'm gonna say Optic 3-0 if they're here.
Okay, I got Optic 3-1, and then you were last, Gulu, so we're gonna go on to the next match. And
Hey, real quick, y'all just continue on without me. I gotta go take care of something.
all right, cool. Okay. We've got Ultra versus Surge in elimination in the losers bracket round 2. Ultra versus Surge here. This is actually probably one of the closer matchups I've seen, but I'm gonna give it to Toronto. I think Toronto has been a lot more consistent against the top teams. They've actually had FaZe's number for a while. I'm pretty sure. Which team was it? LA or FaZe that they kept beating? I think it was LA actually. So I think Toronto is a stronger team, and especially if they take that loss, they are not. I don't think they're gonna bow down easily. So I've got them taking it 3-2.
Gotcha.
Now it's you go ahead, Ghoul. You seem like you want to go. Go ahead.
That's fine. For me, it's Heretics here instead of Surge. But if it's Surge here, I'd say Surge like 3-1. I think if Surge are here, I think they close out over Toronto. I think probably the Optic loss at that point probably gets to them. The double losses, they'd be on 4 losses in a row. I'm gonna say Surge like 3-1 there. And I'm honestly it'd be almost the same thing for Miami. I think those teams, their system is a little bit more refined.
Okay, cool. And then Kylo, you Elimination round 2, Ultra versus Surge.
I actually disagree with what you said that Toronto are like more consistent when it comes to like facing off against the top teams. I don't think they've actually been able to beat any of them this year, like FaZe or Thieves.
That's Surge though.
While
Surge is the one who keeps choking to them in grand finals and stuff.
Toronto was beating them early. They were beating
no,
Yeah,
but they were like actually beating FaZe and they were competing with Thieves. Toronto hasn't even been competing with those teams. Like
I,
they haven't been. I don't think they've beaten FaZe all year.
yeah, they have beaten.
Well,
They
they
beat
were.
LA for
They
sure.
were off a phase win. They were off a back-to-back phase win going into Major 3, and that's what was so devastating for them is that Beans' passport or whatever didn't work out because everybody actually there was a big consensus that if one of the top 2 teams don't win it, it's them winning it. They were that good at the time.
Yeah, but that was when Simp and Abizi were getting shut out in Hardpoint. They were
Right?
going through, like,
Yeah.
their little
It
slump.
definitely. Oh yeah, there was a mixture of circumstances at the time for sure.
So, what is
Yeah,
your
no,
prediction?
but yeah, regardless, like I said, I got Vancouver bouncing back, and I think they close it out 3-1.
3-1. Okay. Elimination round 2. I am going to start off with this one. It's LA Thieves versus FaZe. I don't think in a loser a bracket scenario that that FaZe is going to take this off of LA. They tend to do pretty well when they drop down to losers. I'm gonna take LA over FaZe 3-1, and um, it's gonna go and then it's LA versus FaZe round 2, last elimination round. I'm gonna kick it off to Gulu and then Kylo. You guys go ahead.
If it's LAT, I mean, for one, honestly, the likelihood of LAT and FaZe facing each other in Elim round 2, I think is like one of the least likely things to happen in this tournament. I think it's only one of them goes to losers bracket. But if it is them there, I agree. I think LAT close it out. They definitely have way more desire for this one. Not saying that FaZe doesn't want to win champs, but you have some multi-champs winners on that team. You got you know, one of the best COD players in the last 5-6 years to come out who doesn't have his ring yet, who has a damn good squad around him. So I say LAT like 3-1 that shit.
You say you got Thieves 3-1.
Yeah.
I
If it's
agree.
in my case, just for my stream real quick, if it's FaZe versus Surge here, I say that's a quick 3.
Okay, cool. And Kylo, you're what do you think of Thieves versus FaZe?
I agree with Gulu. I think, especially if it's in losers bracket, I think I just trust the boys on LA not to choke. I think you have Scrap who has won chips. He wins MVPs a lot, and he wants the ring. I don't think there's anyone in the league that wants to win more than him right now. And
I
same
agree with that.
Ghosty.
Yeah, a
I
lot
can
of the
see-
players have one.
Yeah, these guys, the confidence is high, the passion is gonna be high. I think they're gonna be too hot for FaZe.
And
I
he
can
has
see
a
them breaking
fucking
down.
Hydra on his team. He has a
Yeah.
fucking Hulk to just throw out.
They're all pulling weight. That's the thing, literally.
No,
So
They're all-
3-1 or 3-0?
But
Yeah,
man,
me-
that dude is freaking crazy.
Yeah, hold on. Meanwhile, on FaZe, Abizi is still struggling a lot, especially in hardpoint.
And Simp is lackluster this season too.
He bounced
Yeah, I
back a little bit, but
I think he's
still,
doing good.
yeah. But then Draws struggles a little bit when it comes to playing Scrap. Yeah, I just don't trust him in this particular matchup, especially at champs. I mean, 3-1.
All right, cool. We'll move on to the next match. Now we're going back to the top side of the bracket. I have it. Obviously, mine is different than your guys'. I keep reiterating that, but I have in the winter finals Optic versus Miami, and I'm gonna be honest here. I think Optic don't beat this matchup. I think Miami's is the stronger, well-rounded team. They definitely have the more reps. I don't think that they couldn't beat Miami, but I think in this particular instance they won't beat them. So how do they could? They play well whenever they go to the winter finals. This one's difficult for me. It's definitely a game 5. I just don't know who's favor. If I'm this is gonna be my little bit of a biased bracket, so I'm gonna pick Optic, but I truly believe that Heretics can 3-1 us very easily right there. So winners finals, we'll go with Kylo since he ended. Go ahead and start. What do you tell me? Tell me what you think.
So what's the matchup? It's Miami against Optic, right?
Yes.
Um, I think this is 50-50, man. I could see Optic taking it, but on the other hand, Miami not only have the talent to keep up with them, but they I think have better teamwork slash chemistry. So I would favor them. I think on the side of Optic, this is one of those series where you need Dashi and Shotzi to go nuclear.
Hmm.
I think Hook and Mercules will do their thing, but I think if you don't get a good ass series out of Dashi and Shotzi, I just don't see like them being able to like power through this one. So I got Miami 3-2.
Okay. Gulu.
Yeah, if it's so if it's Miami here, I mean, and this is I think without bias, maybe them beating FaZe definitely me injecting some bias there, but I think Optic think about the run that they're on at this point. The first day in the tournament they beat FaZe. Second time they hit the tournament they beat Ultra. If they're at a winners final against Heretics, I think that's going to be one of their cleaner series in their run. So if it's Optic versus Heretics, I'm going to say 3-0, 3-1. It might be close again
And who's
every single
favor?
mode. Optic. So Optic with 3-1, Heretics or 3-0. I think it'll be close every single mode if it's that team playing them.
Okay.
But if I can, in my bracket, I have Thieves here, and I'd say it's the reverse scenario. It's going to be close in every mode, but like for me, I would say Thieves 3-1 and send Optic to elimination final.
Okay. Seems fair to me. All right. Now we're going to the next matchup. We're going back down to the bottom side of the bracket. Elimination round 3. Ultra versus LA. I'm gonna tell you what I think. Toronto, they're great, and they've even had LA's number, but I don't think they have it now. I think that they've fallen off a little bit, while LA has just consistently gotten better. And even actually, one thing we haven't brought up is that LA is going to be playing on the patch that they won the last 2 tournaments on. So they've got out reps out the wazoo, and they've got a month to perfect every little mistake they made, which they didn't make that many in the tournament. I think they had just ridiculous records in all the modes. So I'll give Ultra a map because I obviously if we get this far, this is going to probably be the Saturday, which should be the Sunday, but it's champs. They're going to go really hard, but I think that LA will close them out 3-1. So, Kylo, what do you think?
Um, yeah, I agree. I think Toronto throughout the season they did have their number, but I think once LA kind of got their shit together, they got that pressure off of winning like the 20s. I think they're like just they kicked up another gear, um,
Mm-hmm.
and I just don't see Toronto having firepower to keep up, especially with how the moves on LA turn out. I think it's gonna be clean. I can see a 3-0.
You can see a 3-0. Okay, I don't disagree with that at all. And Gulu, go ahead and tell me what you think.
I mean, he basically said it. I'll keep it short and sweet. Yeah, if Thieves are here, 3-0. 3-0 for sure. They're not losing.
Okay, that sounds awesome. I agree with you. So now we're gonna flip off to the top side of the bracket. Actually, let me do a little bit of configuration. Okay, so actually we don't need to. We already did that. So we have next elimination final. We have LA versus the Heretics, and the Heretics already had. I feel like they will be the ones not going to lose this, but I don't think it's same thing happened last tournament. I don't think that Miami will be able to do it again. LA is too well tuned of a team, and if you beat them once, they're not going to let you do it again. So, for the most part, in a tournament, especially. So I've got LA here. I want to give it 3-2, but I may give it a 3-1 because I could see a close hard point that Miami could have won that just gets closed out by LA. So, um, that's my point of view. What do you guys think?
Again, I think they back to back 3-0 them. Keep it short and sweet again. I think if they're here, nobody's beating them. I think it's 3-0, 3-0.
So you think they cruise into the grand finals?
Yeah, I think that there's it's not even close to a demon crawl. It's a straight glide to, the grand final for sure.
Awesome, and Kylo.
I mean, same thing I said in their like theoretical first match. I just see Thieves like not. I don't see them trolling right now. I think Miami have. They need a lot of things to go their way.
Hmm.
They need a lot of things to line up, and I just don't see it happening, man. I think Thieves make it clean. 3-0.
Fair, fair enough. 3-0. I've
If
got a
I could
3-1.
say real quick in my bracket, so like I had LAT sending Optic to Elam final, so and have another Optic phase matchup here because I really think this is likely anyway. But I think if it's in an Elam final, Optic versus FaZe, and the only person they've lost to is LAT, I think Optic like win at like a game 5 or some shit against FaZe. To
That's
go to
what
that
I
grand
was
final.
saying earlier. That I see it more likely that they get their win later in the tournament than
Okay.
early.
I feel like that if they don't get their
Oh,
wins
yeah.
early in the tournament, just like they did last time, they cruise to the grand finals. They usually get knocked out, and they don't have as much steam as like an LA or a FaZe to make a losers bracket run. So that's how I feel about it. But moving on, we have finally gotten to the grand final. And on my end, I've got Optic Texas versus LA Thieves. And I'll be honest, this is not just bias. I believe that Optic can make it into the grand finals. They placed top 4 with just one team change after looking just slightly terrible all year. And now they made the team change, and it looks like they can compete with the top 4. I think they are going to be really locked in, and they get to that grand final. And if they do get to that grand final, I feel like they can win it, but they can't. They cannot troll. If they troll, Thieves will punish them left and right for it. So I'm gonna go with similar results I did last year, 5-2 in Optic's favor. Now I'm gonna kick it off to Gulu, and go ahead. Tell me what you think.
Okay, so I think I'll just say I think this is going to be if it is indeed LA Thieves versus Optic Texas grand final best of 9. I think we're in for one of the craziest grand finals we've seen in a long time.
You have Thieves as well.
Yes, and although I have bias for Optic, I'm gonna call a spade a spade. I think it's gonna be a crazy grand final. And I think this is going to be one of the few grand finals we see actually go to like a game 9, round 11, round 10 type of thing.
Yeah, there hasn't been very
If
many.
Optic is on that kind of steam, but the unfortunate thing, my gut tells me this is LA Thieves' year. LA Thieves 5-4. That's what I'm going to say.
5-4. There's Bosen's in his signature. Okay, LA Thieves. You got LA Thieves winning it or Optic winning it? Hello?
You muted.
What'd you say? Sorry.
In whose favor?
I say LA Thieves. They're winning. This is their year. 5-4. LA
Oh,
Thieves.
I disagree, and I'm gonna have to disown you as a family member. But all right. I'm joking. I'm joking.
I know.
Kylo, go ahead and tell me what you think.
I think. I mean, obviously, I got Thieves. I just think their map pool is just insane. There's genuinely not. I don't even think there's a map combination that they're not good at. Maybe other than one. But I could see Optic making the run to the final, but I feel like they were running a steam. I don't know, man. These, if they're all clicking, I could like, in a best of 9, there's just so much potential for Optic to scam.
Yeah.
That's what would have me worried. I just do not trust this team, even if they're hot, to not scam at least
a map or two.
or a round. Yeah.
So they're gonna have to beat them 7-2 basically to win the series.
Yeah, in order to beat Thieves, they would have to be perfect.
Literally perfect.
And if they
Perfect.
troll a
And
map, they have to
yeah.
beat. Yeah, so good.
And if you're
So-
Thieves, you just got to do what you do best.
All right.
just gotta stick to the game plan.
So what did you
So I
have the
would
map
have-
count? Sorry, sir, cut you off.
I would have it 5-2 for Thieves.
5-2 for Thieves. Okay, I've got the opposite. 5-2 for Optic. All right, so that's respectful. I like everybody's point of views. Guys, this is our second show. Obviously, I kind of want to plug. It's a perfect bracket. You guys can go fill it out. There's prizes for who's most accurate and all that. I want to let these guys plug any of their social medias or any of their channels they want to plug. So, Google, you want to go ahead and plug your channels and your social medias?
yeah, if you guys want to just look me up on YouTube, it's GULU. You can probably type in like Call of Duty or something after it, and it'll pop right up. Appreciate
Okay.
that.
Okay, and then same thing, Kylo. Do you want to plug any your IG or anything? I know you make videos on there. Go ahead and plug anything you would like.
Yeah, guys, make sure to subscribe to my OnlyFans at Dark.
And to be serious.
Bro, just can't help but troll. Nah, but for drop me a follow on IG at Dark Envoy with 2 Y's. I would very much appreciate it.
Yeah, he does make some pretty good Call of Duty clips on there. So yeah, I'd go ahead and check him out, and then check me out on my new TikTok is Killcams. Obviously my YouTube is Killcams. My Twitch is TRS XX Cameron XX. It's an old GT. I need to change it, and I will link the rest of my social medias in the bio, along with other places to reach me if you want to reach out. And if you guys have any suggestions or anything you want to share with me, you can go ahead and reach out on the platforms I provide. So I want to appreciate anybody that hopped in, any support you showed. I really do appreciate it, and have a great day. This was episode 2. See you later.